Hey everyone, thanks for stopping in the garage today. And this was just going to be a quick one, right? It's dealing with crank pulleys, the belt pulleys on the crank. In this case, it is for a tractor. But these pulleys are pretty common, even on like Toros, on lawnmowers. And the problem is that they're stamped pulleys, and the key that locates on the slot of the crank, that key is essentially what they do is they take a stamp, like a hydraulic stamp or press or whatever, and they punch through the stamping of the cylinder part, right, the part that goes over the shaft. They punch it down essentially, and it kind of penetrates through, and it's got a little bit of an elliptical on it, and that's what locates the pulley. It's from turning and keeps it from turning. It locates it on the slot of the keyway of the shaft. It's not a separate key, and they break, they rust, they break. Now, you can go out and get another pulley. In this scenario, just to give you a heads up, Mike UC has got a customer, a friend of his. So this guy's a customer to me, effectively. He says, you got another pulley. I got another couple of motors, and we looked around, and they're different sizes. So yes, you could go and order a new one, and maybe you can get it, right? You got to get one. The pulley is sized not just for the motor crank size, the size of the crank, the output shaft, but it's overall pulley sizes, a double pulley system. It's sized for the machine, right? And then you'd be getting into belt issues and belt sizes and all that. The story I got is something went wrong with the motor. It died. It locked up. Something happened. They're putting another motor on it, and as they come to find out, as we're working on it, we'll hear it again probably. Something like I had a motor here, and it was like, I don't know, 16 horsepower, and their motor's like 17 or something. It's just different enough. The motor fits on, but it's just different enough to where, their day is shot. They got a problem. They need a pulley. The other pulley he had, it doesn't fit. So he calls me up and says, all right, what can I do? And bring it over. Now, I have a motor here that I could work with, and we looked through my pulleys, and I didn't have anything that would directly fit on. So this is a solution for you guys to weld it back on. I'll show you what I did and how I went about doing it and solve the problem. And what's nice is that they can go and order another pulley. I said, you can go order a brand new pulley if you want, put it on a shelf. If this has a problem, right, now you've got the motor done, everything else is going good, you can go back to the rest of the season. Maybe you'll have a problem with the pulley this year, maybe you'll have it next year, maybe 2 years from now. If you order one, whenever it comes, whatever it costs, you put it on the shelf, deal with it then, right? Meantime, they work out of here, they can finish this issue today and move on with their lives, all right? So let's go take a look and see what I did. I'll see you guys in a minute. So if you guys have a problem like this, where the pulley's in really good shape, but something happened, the motor spins, locks up, something locks up, and you've got a pulley where, and I've already started cleaning this, where it sheared the key. Now in this case, it's just a big motor for a tractor, but this can happen on Toros and a lot of these stamped pulley scenarios. And what I did was, we were able to recover the key, which fell out, right? And so it's spinning on the shaft. And what I did was I just refashioned the key. Let me make sure we get a good shot here. Whatever was left of it, I just refashioned it. And so what you want to do is get it so it slides back in. Now I've cleaned it. It's all ready to go, okay? And we're going to weld that key back on real careful. Now, you might say, well, is it going to weld to the shaft? Yes, it can weld to the shaft. That's why we have to be careful. So if you can have a little bit sticking up, you got to clean everything good. So I wire wheeled this, and I also cleaned both parts with brake clean. And what we're going to do is we're going to just slip it on. I'll get you in for a close-up. So this goes all the way back, and just take something that you can grab with. And we're going to slip it in there, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to set up for weld in a minute, and you'll see. We're going to tack it, and then we're going to take it off, and we're going to finish welding it, but because we don't want to weld it to the crankshaft, so we got to be a little careful. We'll just put a little bit of weld on there. I'm going to probably start off with low current so that I don't weld the shaft, and we're going to figure this out. I might want to raise this up a little bit. This key up a little. So the motor that was on the tractor, this is not the motor from the tractor, right? The The motor that was on the tractor, I guess, is dead. It's a 17 horse, right, guys? You said?
Yeah, 17.
This is my motor, and this is 16 horse, and the pulleys are just a little bit different. So you may have problems finding the right pulley, especially nowadays with shortages and everything. So what I want to do now is, because I am a little bit concerned about welding to the shaft, we want to get this a little higher. So I want to shim this up just a little bit. So I want to think about what do I want to put in there just to shim it up a little bit. And so something common that we can all use. And I think I know what it is. Okay, so here's what I came up with. Now, there's no keyway in these. So that means the diameter here, right, is just big enough to fit over the diameter of your shaft. So there's no, you want to have this piece sticking up enough, because if I lay it on here, right, it's so close to the cheeks of the slot, this keyway, that it's very likely that I'm going to weld it right to the shaft. So what I came up with is just some thin baling wire. It's going to act as a spring. I'm going to put the baling wire on, right, like that, and then we're going to take this guy and we're going to hold it. It's actually trying to push it up, and then we'll take our pulley and hold it on. Trying to fight it a little bit. There we go. It's going. Try to line it up by eye. Now I know doing this on the tractor underneath might be more difficult, obviously. You may have to take the motor off, but this is just an idea as to how you can solve a problem. All right, we'll try and push that on. There it goes. Now, that's it. All right, and let me get you in tight and I'll show you. And I'm not gonna weld the whole thing right now. We just wanna spot it. This way it's held up. We wanna spot it and then we'll weld it on the bench, because I'm still concerned about, penetration and hitting the crankshaft, because we don't wanna weld it. Let me just show you from the side. Okay, there's a side view. So it's like right here. So let me get the other camera and I'll show you where we're at right now. See how it's sticking up? So over here it's down a little bit because I didn't get much of a spring action, but I got it here, and I'm not worried about, if I tack it here, we'll take it off and check it, and if I have to adjust it, I could probably go in there and poke it up a little bit and then finish the weld. So let's give that a shot. So I took it off, popped it back on, and that's what the weld looks like. We'll get a little closer in a minute. All right, now I didn't show the welding or anything because the camera would be too close, and it's a quick one. But so I tacked it, and then I pulled it off, right? And then I went over on the bench and I finished the weld, and you can see the weld. I didn't actually have to go up to full current. So on mine, I don't know what it is. It's D, setting D. It's a Weld Pack 125. And it just goes right on, and it's not going to come off. Is it a little wobbly? Yeah, I mean, it's not as tight as I would personally like it, but once the bolt is on, I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's locating it in the correct position. And like Mikey, we were just talking about, like Mike said, you can buy this, it might be 50, 60 bucks, but he's like, it could be a 3-month wait. It could be a week wait. Who knows? And you have to get the right pulley, because then you're dealing with belt issues and belt sizing. And so this is, if you guys are interested in something, even for a lawnmower, I know it's a little bit of work and it does require a welder. You can have a 120 volt welder. You don't have to have something nice and fancy. But this is just an idea for you guys. All right. So that worked out pretty good. I don't think they're gonna have any problems with it. Now, I did mention to them that I do have some key stock here. It has to be steel key stock, because remember, a lot of key stock is not steel. It's, it's not a metal that you can weld to. It's made to shear. Whereas this, they just use the stamping. So if I really wanted to make it tighter, and I mentioned this to them, I could cut a bit of stock and shape it and fit it and make it where I want it, and do it a little while, and it would be perfect. They're fine with this, and like I said, you could just get another pulley later on and put it on the shelf. But this is how I went through it. Now, common scenario is going to be for you guys, Are you going to be doing it maybe underneath the tractor? You might be, right? You might have to do it underneath the tractor. But the more common scenario is like if you move the tractor and pick it up and prop it up, and you can get it up high enough, you can work in a position where you can weld it and do what I just did. Just remember, right? You're only tacking it. You got to get it into position where everything's lined up so that you can tack it. Don't weld it like while it's fully welded while it's on the crank of the motor, because you could risk welding the whole assembly together. And that's another reason why I had the little pieces of wire to act as a spring to lift it up. I can get a better purchase on the weld. I'm not going to weld to the crank. Things are lined up better. I'm going to be able to pull it off, and I could finish the weld on the bench. And so really you're going to be welding on the bench, right, in a proper position, what we call as a normal, proper position welding. And you're going to be able to get a really good weld. And you can always go out and get another pulley later. You can finish the installation. Common scenario is going to be that you have a problem with the motor. Somebody else gave you a motor, or you bought a motor. It's very similar. And then you go pull all the pulleys apart. And you're like, I'm going to go put this motor on now. Piece of cake, right? Yeah, the pulley's not right. Pulley's no good. Like I said, they break, they crack, they fall apart. Pull the pulley off, and you're like, well, there's two pieces in my hand. So anyway, quick one for this, guys. Hopefully you get something out of it. This is for, I guess, a little bit more of an advanced user. But, even for people that are sort of backyard mechanics, too, you can do it, right? You can solve a lot of problems. You just got to have a few tools. In this case, I have a good welder, but you could have a more simple welder, plug in 120 volts. You don't need a lot to do this. You just need some ingenuity. And I will see you on the next one in Archer's Garage. Thanks for watching.